We are going to start tonight on our backs. So you can go ahead and just rest on your back, and when you get there, go ahead and take any movements as far as maybe bringing the knees into the chest, maybe rocking from side to side just to release the lower back. So take a moment there. And whenever you feel like your back is comfortable, you could either stretch the legs out long or you could plant the feet. You decide what's going to feel best for your body right now. And then we'll start just by grounding down into the moment. If you just got home from work, or maybe if you've been in front of a computer all day, maybe take a moment to get into your body, really feeling, I am here. I'm here right now in this present moment. I can feel my body resting against the floor, whether it's a yoga mat or a blanket or carpet beneath you. Feel that tactile sense. Feel the clothing against your skin. And then begin to tap into your breath. Noticing how it's moving in and out. Tonight, we are going to be taking some deep breaths. We're going to be moving into the Prāna Agni Mala model. Prana, like what we've talked about at the beginning, the first week of class, is our life force. And we can increase that through our breath. Agni is fire. And in yogic philosophy, it rests in your belly. So even now, if you'd like to, you could place your hands over your belly, maybe even over the ribs a little bit, starting to feel your ribs and your belly move in and out with each inhale and exhale. Maybe allowing your breaths to begin to deepen. Slowly increasing your inhales and your exhales. And then mala, that last part, is waste. It's toxins. It's anything physical, emotional, mental, energetic that just kind of accumulates and weighs us down because we're human and we all go through life, and sometimes we pick up a little bit of crap along the way. So yoga as a whole is a waste removal system. And this is one of the ways that, or one of the tools that we have to kind of digest and process these life experiences that we have. Prāna Agni Mala. All right. So if your hands aren't already over the ribs / belly area, go ahead and bring them there now. And let's take a full breath out. Taking your time. There's no need to rush the exhale, really pressing every last drop out, feeling your belly slightly engage. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and again, no need to rush it. Exhale out of the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale through the nose. Tapping into our Durga breath, our 3-part breath that we explored, I believe, the first week of class of this series. So belly, ribs, chest. Continue breathing deeply at your own pace in a way that is comfortable and expansive to you. Tapping into the belly, letting that rise up toward the ceiling, allowing the ribs to expand away from one another, and then moving that breath up into the top of the lungs. Full breath in, slow breath out. Taking a couple more just like that. So in yogic philosophy, the prana, when we breathe in, stokes the flame, kind of like when you're building a campfire and you can blow on the embers to stoke a fire. That's the same thing that's happening here. And the Agni, the fire, lives in your belly. And then the Mala gets burned up. The waste gets burned up when you stoke the flame. So tonight, as we go through our sequence, we're going to be focusing on this model, doing some core work, really building some heat, but not to keep it just on the physical level. Let's keep it even under the surface as well, allowing these different layers of ourselves to integrate in a holistic manner. So with your next exhale, whenever you get there, again, pressing all the air out and feeling that engagement in your core, but this time, as you engage, bring some attention to your ribs and begin to draw the ribs together, kind of corsetting them in. Now, nothing too intense, but enough to feel that activation. Release with your inhale. And again, find that engagement with your exhale, belly, drawing the ribs in, feeling some heat starting to build. One more, inhale, release the engagement. Exhale, blow the air out, start to find that engagement. So this engagement that we have here in the belly, from the lower belly up into the belly button, into the ribs, that's the kind of engagement that we're going for tonight. All right. Another breath in. Draw the arms up overhead to the floor, back behind you. And then option here to rest the arms on the floor, or you could hover them, palms face in toward one another. All right. Inhale. Exhale, find that engagement in your belly. And then maybe you hold that engagement there as you begin to inhale and exhale, hover the arms, and then option to hover the feet about an inch or two up off of the mat. So my knees are still bent. My feet were planted on the floor. So if you would like to draw them in, you can. It's going to make it a little bit easier than having the legs extended. All right. Continue to breathe. Even through the engagement, building some heat. So option to stay here, or option to take a breath in. And then on your exhale, lift the legs up toward the ceiling and reach your hands up toward the ceiling. Inhale to go back to that hover. Arms are hovering up over the floor. Feet are hovering up off the mat. Exhale to reach. Maybe you reach, maybe you stay where you're at. What does your body need? Whatever you're doing though, make sure you're breathing with it. We're going to take 3 more at your own pace. Building some heat, stoking the fire. Last one. Good. And release that engagement. Pull the knees in toward the chest. Wrap your arms around. Maybe you rock from side to side. Maybe you stay in stillness. And then let's roll on over to one side and begin to press yourself up. We're going to come onto our hands and our knees. Knees are underneath the hips and hands underneath the shoulders. All right. Ankles are in alignment with the knees. So we're going to find that modified child's pose. So we're just going to shift the hips back and release the head and the heart to the floor. We're only going to be here for a breath or 2, just to release the lower back a little bit. So inhale into this posture. Big breath out. All right, keeping your hips resting over the heels, go ahead and take the gaze up toward the hands. And then we're going to draw our elbows in so that our forearms are resting on the floor, palms face down right in front of us, so that the bottom half of our body is exactly where it's been, hasn't moved, and we're just drawing the arms and elbows are right underneath the shoulders, shoulder distance apart. And we're gonna take a modified cat-cow here. And I like doing it this way because it really gets into the thoracic spine, whereas more traditional cat-cow can be a bit more lumbar spine heavy. So when you're ready, take a breath in, draw the heart space forward, press the hands into the mat, roll the shoulders back, smile with the collarbones, gaze is forward. Exhale, round through the spine, engage the core slightly, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, and then inhale to reverse. So we're finding that cat-cow in this forearm modified child's pose. Breathing in, breathing out. For a couple more. And tonight, I really encourage you to set your own pace. We're going to be layering on a lot. There's going to be a lot of options. And just a reminder, you have freedom, you have choice, you have power to do anything, choose anything that your body needs. Not necessarily what I'm doing, but what you need. All right, with your next inhale, shift the hips forward. You might need to walk your hands forward just a little bit to create some room. And just begin moving organically. So whether that includes a fuller cat-cow expression or maybe some spinal rolls, maybe you move through the side body, anything goes here. What does your body need? And also, what does your body not need? One more round of breath. All right, let's inhale back to neutral. And let's lower all the way down onto our bellies. Okay. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. We're going to take just 3 baby cobras. So tops of the feet press into the floor. Engage the quads and send your tailbone back down toward your heels. Inhale, lift up through the heart space, roll the shoulders back. Exhale whenever you're ready to release. 2 more times, find your rhythm. All right, after that third one, allow your elbows to come back down onto the floor, right underneath the shoulders. And again, remembering that engagement in the quads and continuing to send the tailbone down toward the heels so that we're not having a lot of pressure on our lower back. Okay, so Sphinx pose. Inhale, press the hands into the floor. Draw the heart space forward. Gaze is forward. We're gonna add on to this little by little. Exhale whenever you're ready. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, begin to hollow out the heart and feel some engagement in your core. So I'm rounding my chin toward my chest and I'm hollowing out the heart, rounding them forward. Good. Inhale to release back to Sphinx. That's option 1. Hips are still on the floor in option 1. Exhale for option 2. Start hollowing out the heart. Maybe this time your knees stay on the floor and you begin to lift up with the quads. So the hips are up off of the mat. Good. Inhale to release. Find your Sphinx. Exhale, option 3. Round through the shoulders, hollow out the heart, engage the core. Maybe you pick the hips up off the floor. Maybe you take the knees up off of the floor. This one, whew, is intense. All right. Release when you're ready to inhale. Sphinx. Last one. Exhale, find that one that you want to be at. I'm kind of in between tonight, so I'm going to pick the second option. All right, inhale to release. Draw the hands back underneath the shoulders and either do a reverse chaturanga, which is just pressing yourself straight up, or pass back through the knees to come onto our tabletop. And then we're gonna tuck the toes, take a breath in, and exhale, lift the hips up. We're finding downward facing dog. And we'll spend a few breaths here, feeling our way through it. Moving however you want to move. Those Sphinx forearm planks are really heating. So notice how your body feels after doing, I think, just 4 rounds of those. All right. Finish up whichever movement you're on, and then let's start to settle into some stillness in our down dog. Taking a breath in, prana. Big exhale out, mala. Option to lift your right foot up toward the ceiling. Maybe you open up the hip. Maybe you keep the right foot planted on the floor. That's an option too. And then square off the hips, right toe points down toward the mat. Take a breath in. On your exhale, wherever you're at, draw the right knee in, plant it on the mat, and release the back knee toward the floor. Low lunge. All right. Option 2, keep the hands planted if this is where you're at tonight to start. If your body is still warming up into it, this is option 1. Option 2 is to inhale, draw the arms up, really lunge into it. Good. And then keeping the arms up towards the sky, begin to press back, pressing your right foot into the floor and press your hips back. Good. Notice that difference there from swaying into it to finding some engagement with the hip flexors, noticing how that changes the feeling in your left quad, your left hip flexors. Let's take another breath in. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor. Plant the hands, pick up the back knee. Right foot goes back, and we meet in a down dog. Take your time getting there. There is no rush. This is your practice, your time, your body. All right. Option 2, lift your left foot up towards the ceiling. Maybe you start by opening up the left hip and then square it off. Inhale. Exhale, draw the left knee in toward the chest. Plant the left foot, drop the back knee. Low lunge on this side. Maybe you keep the hands planted. Maybe you inhale, reach it on up. Press into the left foot. Engage the hip flexors, draw the hips back a little bit. Notice that difference. How does it feel between swaying into the hips, like really lunging into it passively, compared to finding some engagement? How does that feel in your right quad, your right hip? Inhale. On your exhale, release. Plant the hands, tuck the toes. Left foot goes back. Another down dog. And then we're gonna find our way to the top of the mat. So we'll inhale, take the gaze forward, bend the knees, and maybe you take one big step or a bunch of small steps. However you get to the top of the mat, I'll meet you there. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. All right. Inhale, root to rise all the way up. And exhale, hands come down to heart center. Take a moment here. Maybe your hands stay at heart center. Maybe you place one hand over the ribs, one hand over the belly, connecting again with our prana, our fire, and everything that's being burned up and released. So the idea of this model is that when you exhale, you are releasing all of the mala, all of the waste, everything that's being burned up. So let your exhales be full and complete. Take a breath in. Belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. Let it go. Okay. Let's release the hands. We're going to find chair pose. So we're going to inhale, sink into the hips, reach the arms up, look down at the toes to start. Can you see your toes, or are the knees over them? And if so, can you shift the hips back so that you can see your toes? And now let's take a moment to revisit a little bit of sustainability. You can go into your chair pose as deep or as shallow as you like. There is no right or wrong. So notice how that feels. Take a shallow chair pose. Take a maybe medium. Take a deep chair pose. Where does your body want to be tonight? And also, we're going to take this posture a few times, and you can change your mind each time. Okay, bring some attention to your core. Is your belly soft and relaxed? And if so, let's take a big breath out. Find your engagement. Core set the ribs together, draw them in. Feel that warmth. Stoke the fire. Inhale. Okay, shift the weight into your left foot. Maybe you come up onto your right toes. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you draw your right knee up and in on your exhale. Inhale, toe tap. So left leg is staying exactly where it's at. The right knee is doing all the lifting. Good, exhale, draw it in. Inhale to release. Couple more. Maybe you skip the toe taps. Last one. All right, wherever you're at, lift off through your left leg. Right knee is bent and drawing up. So we're floating it up off of the floor. 90-degree angle. Take a breath in. On your exhale, float the right leg back. Crescent lunge here. So we're coming up onto the ball of the right foot. Bend into your right knee. Allow your tailbone to point down towards the floor. Versus scooping out like a little ducktail. So bend into that right knee, sink down into it, and then option here to take a low lunge if that's what your body prefers. Inhale. On your exhale, left leg stays exactly the same. Airplane your arms backward, lengthen through the right leg. Inhale, left leg still stays where it's at. Reach it on up. So we're just oscillating back and forward, using the breath to inhale, reach it up. When you get to your exhale, you reach it back. Couple more at your own pace. Last one. How's your core? Is it hanging out or is it working? Inhale, reach it on up. And then keeping the legs exactly where they are, reach the arms forward. Take a breath in. Exhale, left arm pulls the bow back. We're finding a twist. Just for a breath. Can you find your core engagement even here, even in a twist? All right, let's take it forward. Release the hands down onto the floor. Plant your left hand and your right hand, I suppose, both of them. Send your left leg back and then drop your left leg to the floor. We're taking a one-sided plank posture. Allow your right arm to reach up toward the ceiling and allow your right leg to come over in alignment with your hips. Okay. Find some engagement here. not just in your front abdominals, but also your obliques, so your side abs, if you will. How's your breath? Maybe you float your right leg, maybe you keep it grounded. For one more inhale. Woo, I almost fell. There's a lot of work here. And exhale. Release the back foot, release the right hand. Find your high or low plank here. Exhale, we're gonna take a vinyasa. So lower all the way down to the belly, or maybe you hover for an upward facing dog, your choice. Exhale, I'll meet you in down dog. And remember that you always have the option to skip vinyasa. All right, let's inhale. Big exhale out of the mouth. Inhale, bend the knees. Take the gaze to the top of the mat and find your way into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Okay, from here, we're gonna go straight into our chair pose. So inhale, sweep the arms up, sink the hips down. Find that place that you would like to be. Notice the core. Draw the ribs in. Take a breath. Shift the weight into your right foot. Maybe you just bring your left toes to touch the mat. Maybe on an exhale, you draw the left knee in, creating a little crunch in the abs. And let it go. In and out. Remembering to breathe wherever you're at. Two more. Last one. All right, wherever you're at, lengthen through the right leg, hover the left foot up off the mat, and then send it back. High or low lunge here, depending on your preference. Inhale. Exhale. Airplane the arms, reach it forward. Inhale, scoop it up. Find your rhythm. What's a good rhythm for you to find warmth in the body, engagement, and steady breath? Last one. All right, let's end in a lunge. Draw the arms straight ahead. Take a breath in. Exhale, pull the bow back with your right hand. Twist. Check in with your belly. Check in with your breath. And let's release. Draw the hands back forward and plant them on the mat. Send the right foot back. Drop the right knee onto the mat. Find a side plank here on the right side. Maybe you float the left leg. Maybe you keep it grounded. We will be up leveling the plank the next round, so option to do that then if you'd like. Bring some attention to the right side body. You might even place your left hand there. Can you feel some engagement? So not just in the front of our ribs, but in the right side as well, like you're trying to push the floor away. Let's take a breath in. And then on your exhale, release the left hand, release the back foot, find your high or low plank, and go through your version of a vinyasa. I'll meet you in down dog. Deep inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Big exhale out of the mouth. In Inhale to take the gaze forward, bend the knees. Find your way to the top of your mat. Okay, we're gonna do that once more on each side. So remember, whatever you did on the first side, you don't have to do on the second side. You can change it. You can change your mind at any time. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, take a fold. Inhale to find your chair pose. Sweep the arms, sink the hips, look down, see your toes, engage the core. Send that tailbone down toward the heels. If the tailbone is swooping out, it's gonna feel kind of crunchy in the low back, so send the tailbone down. Good. Take a breath in. Shift the weight over into your, oh no, what side are we on? Let's see, we did both sides. So shift the weight into your right foot. And some toe taps on the left side. So option for toe taps, or maybe you skip it. Three more. 3, 2, 1. Good. Lift off. Inhale. On your exhale, send your left foot back. High or low lunge. Bottom of the body stays the same. Breathe it in. Exhale, airplane arms. What kind of pace are you moving at? Is it a pace that is sustainable? Or is it a pace that's going to burn you out? You can adjust at any time. Last one. And in a crescent lunge. Inhale, draw the arms forward. And exhale, pull the bow back with your right arm. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, release the hands down. Okay, take the right foot back. Option here to drop the left knee, find a plank on your left side, or you could keep both legs hovering, find a side plank here with maybe the edge of your left foot on the mat, or maybe you just tap the right toe back behind you for a little bit of balance. You could also hover the right foot and the right leg. You could find kind of like a tree pose here, touching the right toes to your inside of your left leg. Three more breaths. Stoke the flame. Big breaths in. Last one. And release the right hand. Find your high or low plank. Go through your vinyasa or skip it. If you ever find that you've lost your breath, that means that the movement needs to reset, not your breath. The breath always takes precedence. So let's find that here in down dog. Exhale the next one out of your mouth. Inhale, take the gaze forward, bend the knees. Find your way to your forward fold. Okay, last round. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, scoop it on up for your chair pose. Okay, shift into your right foot. Maybe you take the toe taps, maybe you skip. So you're inhaling, drawing the left knee up and down. Continuing to bend into that right leg. Engaging the core. Good, 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Lift off, lengthen through the right leg. And exhale, send the left foot back. Higher low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, airplane arms. Find your rhythm. If any time that you lose the breath, take a pause from the movement, find it again, and then join back in when you're ready. Last one. Inhale, end on a lunge. Draw the arms forward. Exhale, pull the bow back. Breathe it in. And inhale back to center. Release the hands to the mat. Send the right foot back. Find a plank on your right side. So, option to drop the right knee. Option to hover the legs. My legs are burning. Definitely stoking the flame. We're here for 3 more breaths, but you can leave at any time. You never have to stay here or doing something that might be worse for your body. If your body is especially fatigued, please listen to what you need. Exhale, release the left hand down. Find your higher low plank. This is our last vinyasa. So take it or leave it. Wherever you're at, work with your breath. Meet you in our down dog. We're going to be here for 5 breaths whenever you get here. Two more. Last one, big breath in. Exhale out of the mouth. Inhale, bend the knees, take the gaze forward. Find your way into your forward fold. I don't know about you, but my legs are literally shaking. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. With your next inhale, bend into the knees, and we're gonna slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, starting at the very bottom vertebrae, allowing the chest and the head, the arms to completely hang, coming up 1 vertebrae at a time. Till you get to the very top. You roll the shoulders back. Maybe you grab a drink of water. And let's inhale. And big breath out. Okay, so no fancy transition here. We're literally just gonna come down onto our bums. So find a nice seat, plant the feet on the floor right in front of you. And this is our peak pose. We're gonna take boat pose or Navasana. We're only gonna do it twice. So the first time you're gonna find what you like, and the second time you're gonna really go for it. Okay, so from here, with our feet planted on the floor right in front of us, please bring your hands back behind you. Notice where your spine is. Are you rounding forward toward the knees. And if so, can you take a big breath in? Begin floating the spine up toward the ceiling, pressing your hands into the floor. Good. Find a nice tall spine. Really allow yourself to take up space. Find your breath. And with your next exhale, find that engagement in the belly. Draw the ribs in. Hold that engagement, and please continue to breathe. Option 1 is here. Continuing to hold that ball of fire in your belly. Option 2 is maybe you draw your arms forward, and then maybe you come up onto the toes, still holding that engagement. Option 3, maybe you reach the toes up, keeping the knees bent. So not quite a 90-degree angle, but kind of close. All right. Option 3, I think we're on 3, is to lengthen through the legs. Whew. I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna go back to option 2. That's where my body's at tonight. Or I think that was option 4. Either way, maybe you're keeping count. Find the one that works best for you. Continue finding the belly engagement, drawing the ribs in. Inhale, exhale, release. Maybe you round into the spine, completely releasing just for a breath. Okay, last one. Inhale, reach the spine up. Maybe you press your hands into the floor back behind you for a little lift. And then find where you want to be. I'll run through them myself as well. So hands back behind you, finding your belly engagement. Reach the arms ahead of you if you'd like. Maybe you bring the toes to the floor. Maybe you flip the toes up off the floor. Maybe you lengthen through the legs entirely. Prāna Agni Mala. Increase the breath. Stoke the flame. Exhale the waist. You got this. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Fire rises. Exhale. Let it all go. Last one. Stay for the exhale. And release. Woo! All right. Release that posture. Shake the legs out. I have a feeling like my quads are gonna be dead tomorrow. Okay, let's go ahead and take a cross-legged posture right in front of us. And please start with your right leg in front. Just a little bit of a cool down, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms up. Lengthen through the spine, so really reach it up through the crown of the head, the back of the head, toward the ceiling. And then begin drawing your hands forward to the floor and walking them away from you. Continuing to allow the sits bones, the little bones on either side of your tailbone, to stay rooted. So allow the glutes to stay rooted on the mat while folding into it. Maybe you come down onto your forearms. Maybe you relax the neck. Maybe you keep lengthen your spine. The choice is yours. There's no right or wrong way. It just depends on what you feel in this moment. And if your gaze is down, and if you're really rounded into it, we'll take another breath here. Big exhale out. And then inhale, lift the head to look at the hands, but keep your hands where they're at. Draw through the spine. Good. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the left. Continuing to root the seat down, our seat, our glutes. Finding a stretch in the left side body. You might really feel it in, the right side body. So we walked our hands over to the left and we're stretching the right side body. You might really feel it in your right glute, probably your glute med, or at least that's where I'm feeling it, but you might feel it somewhere different, and that's okay. So maybe send a breath into where you're feeling that stretch. We're here for 3 more breaths. With your next inhale, lift the head up to look at the hands. We're walking the hands back to center and then back toward us. We're going to change the cross of our legs. But before you do that, you might like to stretch them out. And then we'll cross them again. This time, left leg in front. Big breath in, reach it on up. Exhale to find your fold, whatever that looks like for you. And it might be different on this side than what it was on the other side. Allow your body to experience the stretch on this side of your body, not being held to the same standard, so to speak, as the other side of the body. Checking in with your breath. With your next inhale, lift the head to gaze at the hands. And then we're walking the hands over to the right. And then sink back down into it when you get there. Last breath. Use your inhale to lift the head. Walk the hands back to center. And then toward you, taking your time. Go ahead and uncross the legs. Plant the feet nice and wide in front of you on the floor. Hands can come back behind you. And we're just dipping the knees over to one side and then to the other. All right, let's come back to center. And it's that time of the sequence when we're gonna need our rolled up blanket or blocks or bolster. You can do this with any of them. So I'm gonna use a blanket and I'm gonna roll it from the top part down. So create like a short end, so to speak, of your blanket, so that it's gonna look like this. Okay. We're gonna take our blanket burrito and lie it down in the center of our mat, the length of the mat. And then we're going to sit down facing away from the blanket. And you want to be far enough away so that you can make a fist and pass that fist in between your tailbone and the blanket, okay? Doesn't have to be like super, like I'm actually a little bit too far away, so I'm gonna scooch in a little bit. That's about the length that you want. You want to have at least one fist different distance away. All right, we're gonna start easing on back. And the blanket is resting on your spine. And if you are doing this with blocks, I'll just demonstrate that really quickly. So if you're on your blanket, go ahead and start settling in. And if you're doing this with blocks, you're gonna place one block that runs the length of your spine. I'm setting it up on the middle height. And then this top block is gonna be running the left to right portion of your mat so that your head can rest there. And then you'll just place that bottom block, the one that's running the length of your spine, right in between your shoulder blades, so to speak. Give or take, doesn't have to be super exact. All right. So wherever you're at, start easing into it. The blocks are definitely more intense. Creates a much more dramatic opening. So here from our blanket, allow your legs to either be extended out long, resting on the mat, or maybe you prefer to plant the feet, resting them on the mat. And if your hip flexors are really tired like mine are, then you might like to take the feet, plant them on the floor, and send them out to the right and left side edges of your mat. So it's just same thing, feet are planted, it's just a wider stance. And then you'll allow your knees to fall in toward one another like you're creating a little tent with your legs. All right, notice your hands. Are they facing down toward the floor, or are the palms face up toward the ceiling? Kind of notice the difference in your shoulders and your chest, depending on which position they might be in. I like to turn my palms face up toward the ceiling, and it broadens through the shoulders and the chest. However, if you're feeling like you need a little bit of groundedness tonight, you could turn the palms face down onto the floor. All right, allow the arms to be relaxed, open, wide, not quite to a T because we don't want to create too much of a stretch, but you could kind of play with having your hands down by your hips compared to maybe kind of like you're creating a snow angel with your arms. Allow them to come up. Notice how that changes the stretch in your chest and your heart space, and then back down again. So find that sweet spot for you and then settle in. Beginning to find a rhythm to your breath. Can you tap into the 3-part breath? Prāna Agni Mala. Continue breathing in and out, finding a rhythm. And tonight for our pranayama practice, we are going to be exploring ratio breathing. So other people call this other things, but that's what I know it by. And essentially, I'm going to start counting, and I'm always going to start at the highest number so that you know exactly where or how long I'm going to be counting. I'll be counting your inhales and your exhales. And we'll slowly increase. So continue to tap into that belly, ribs, chest. I invite you to stay with that the whole time that we're breathing in our pranayama practice. But anytime you feel like it becomes too much or you get dizzy or anything of that sort, please give yourself permission to step away, return to your normal breath, and then if you'd like to rejoin, you can. Start with the full exhale, letting it all go. And then we inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Begin breathing at your natural pace. Notice the effects of this breath. Notice how you feel. What kind of sensations are present for you? Option to stay here in our reclined and supported fish pose on your blanket or your blocks for the remainder of Shavasana, or option to gently roll off of those props if you'd prefer to lie on a flat back. Find what best serves you in this moment and allow yourself to settle in. Without moving, begin to notice your body in space. Notice what is supporting you. Come back to that tactile sense that we began class with. Feeling the floor beneath you, your clothing touching your skin. Maybe you begin to trace your thumb over your fingertips, connecting again with the present, the I am here. Begin adding any movement you like, taking any stretches, allowing your body to come back into movement slowly. And then we'll find our way over into the fetal position on your favorite side. Pausing for a breath. And then moving in your own way at your own pace. Find your way into a seated posture. Maybe you keep the eyes closed. And if you'd like, you could bring one hand over the ribs, one hand over the belly, just like we started class. Taking a full breath out. And a deep inhale. Feeling the expansion. Exhaling it out of the mouth. Bringing the hands to heart center. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice, for moving and flowing and breathing with me and with each other and with your body. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you.